you for joining me, Mitch.
Yes. He's about to put the needle in my foot for the first time, so I'm not sure how this is gonna feel.
On top of the foot?
Yeah, on top of the foot.
Permanent Comedy with Todd Armstrong, in collaboration with Wolfwise Media. Featuring Noriko Ott, Shane Torres, and in-studio guest, Mitch Burrow.
Your next comedian coming up has been a great addition to the scene. He actually saw the very first permanent comedy film. He came and watched the pilot live, and he's been getting funnier and funnier ever since. Please welcome to the stage right now, Mr. Noriko Ott, everybody. Loud! Let's go!
Ah, that looks terrifying, right? This is a bunch of medical equipment on a table greeting you. Hey! Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out. This is great. This is good. My name is Noriko Ott, and that name is shitty for me to have. It's weird. Because Noriko is a Japanese name, and my family is what I like to call Bacon Ranch White. Super white. My family is DUI on a jet ski white. Super white. My mom was a hippie, wanted me to have an unusual name, right? And nothing against hippies, but just try not to be high before you have something important you gotta do, you know what I mean? Like name your kid forever. Put the bong down for that. It's real. Noriko is a Japanese girl's name. Thank you, Google. Found that out. Yeah, it's true. The ko is feminine. So it's not like the name like Jesse or Chris where it can kind of go either way. No, it's 100% a lady's name. That means if I ever go to Japan, my name's just Tiffany. Thank God I'm a broke bastard. All right, let's get this mic working. That's so ridiculous. Like, I have brothers and sisters too. I have a brother named Cody. Then there's Noriko. And by the way, do you know what it's like to apologize every time you meet an Asian person? I do. It's terrible. They're like, how did you? I'm like, look, I'm sorry, okay? I feel like my mom handed me a stolen car stereo. Shit's not mine. So older brother named Cody. Then there's Noriko. Then Amber and Wesley. What? What? Cody, Noriko, Amber and Wesley. My mom fucking hated me, you guys. She hated my guts. I think I came out sideways. Whatever the worst way a baby can come out is. Just like the Kool-Aid man, just booyah. And then they brought her their birth certificate. She drew a limp boner on it. Goes, whatever the fuck that means in Japanese. Fuck this kid. I hate him. My middle name's Sweetwater. Let's just move on. That's real. My middle name is Sweetwater. What kind of goddamn prank am I the victim of? Look, and whether or not your kid's a boy or a girl, give them a tough name. Give them something badass they can glom onto, right? Wolf, Brick, Stabby, Roundhouse. Something kick-ass. Sweetwater's a little too close to Summer's Eve for my taste. That is not quite right. I'm because of my name, I'm like really focused on the names of things. It's something I concentrate on a lot. A lot of guys will name their penis, right? And here's a tip for that. Did they just turn my mic all muddy because I mentioned penises? That's weird. Anyway. If you're gonna name your penis, right, don't do that douchey thing that guys will do where they make a lame joke, but it's a compliment to themselves, right? Like, I named my penis Thor because it's always hammering pussies or whatever. You're like, ugh, gross. Name your penis black licorice because nobody likes it. That's what you should name it. You're gross. So dumb. Thanks, guys. This has been fun. Speaking of names of things, I was driving outside of Chehalis, Washington recently, and if I'm pronouncing the name of that city wrong, who gives a shit, right? Who cares? So I was hanging outside of Chehalis, Washington. I'm driving through, and there's a little store. You can see it right off the I-5. It's right there. It's called Mattress Ranch. You might have seen it. You have seen it? And if you think about the name of that store, it's a cute name for a store, right? Mattress Ranch, right? But if you think about it like it's actually a salad dressing, it's super fucking gross. Mattress Ranch sounds like a horrifying euphemism for cum. It sounds terrible. If you saw it in the store, it'd be Newman's Own Mattress Ranch. It's the only dressing you never want to spit out. What? Detected on your salad with a black light. Just look for the bottle with a happy, sleepy boyfriend on it. Drizzle some jizzle with Mattress Ranch. Made from all natural ingredient. Thanks, everybody. I've been Rico out.
Just had to usurp his crown as Portland's funniest person, but look for him to do big things in New York. Mr. Shane Torres, everybody. Here he is.
All right. Mattress Ranch. Fucking gross. What if I was like, my dad is Steve Mattress Ranch. We're very proud people of the Mattress Ranch dynasty. You ever do that? You drive by a business and it's like CD World. And you're like, what if someone named that after themselves? We all just think it's like, and it's just like old wooden chairs in there. They're not selling CD. That was weird. Thank you guys for being here. This is a neat show. What does it say? I had something. Oh, you guys remember your first homeschool kid? Fuck, they were weird. You remember those guys? Like because they acted exactly like an alien would act if it took over a human's body. Like, you always kind of want to see them from a distance. You're like, I bet that one eats cereal with a fork. You know, like, they're always saying weird shit, you know, like that doesn't quite make, they say things that their parents do that's like not normal for everybody else's family, you know, like, my dad puts honey in my milk and all kinds of weird shit. Freak me out. They're weird, man. The first homeschool kid I ever met was also the first person I ever saw yell back at their parents. You remember that? The first time you saw a friend like talk back to their parents, you were just like, fuck, you can do that? And then you're like, no, you can't. Because your parents are not spineless. But like, he would be so awful to him. Like, just say mean things. He'd be like, you're fat. Like, just shit like that. His mom would eat Cheetos with mayonnaise. That's not a joke. It's just gross. Yeah. Fucking super gross. It's like, Jesus Christ, that is like actual diabetes. Like, that's fucking like they're like, how do you make diabetes? And you're fucking right there. He used to do this thing. This used to be, maybe some of y'all remember this. It was very popular at one point for kids to have their own phone line, their own landline in their parents' house. That was like a weird thing. It was like your parents like gave it to you as a Christmas gift in 1991. They called you and like, guess what? And like, that's cute. And you fucking like hang up. And then like later your dad would be like, why do we have two phone lines? And you're like it's costing so much money. He's like, you gave me it to me as my Christmas present is now your anxiety. Way to go. Now I'll never enjoy anything. But he would do this thing where he would wait for his parents to fall asleep when I stay over. And it'd be like 3 in the morning, and he would call them from his landline on their landline, and it would just be like, I don't fucking do sound effects, but you get it. It's like it's good. What if instead of sound effects, I just said what the item was? I was just like telephone ring, or he's just sitting there, and then I'm like gun, 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 or something. But he would call it like telephone ring, and his parents would pick up, his mom would pick up, and she'd be like, clearly coming out of a deep, wonderful slumber, and she'd just be like, hello, and he would just go, fuck, and hang up the phone. And that's funny. But what's way funnier is when they call back 30 seconds later, and it'd be like, telephone ring, and he'd pick it up, and he'd be like, hello, like pretending to be asleep. He'd be like, hello, who is it? I'm trying to sleep. And they'd be like, Michael, do not call us and say fuck. And he was like, it wasn't, like he would just lie, like, like the way some people are with cops, who are like, I didn't do a goddamn thing, like they'll just get in their face, like, do something, motherfucker. Like, I am swearing a lot. It's fun, though. You ever notice how much fun swearing is? Just how good that feels, just fuck. So it's great. But they would call, and they'd be like, Michael, do not call and say fuck. And he'd be like, I didn't do anything. And they would be like, we share a wall. We know that it was you. And he'd be like, I didn't do anything. And she'd be like, Michael, just don't do it again. And he'd be like, I didn't do anything. She's like, I'm going to sleep. Do not do that. And then she's like, good night, Michael. And then he would just go, fuck! And hang up the phone. So good. So I started doing this thing where now when I can't get out of bed, just because, I don't have a reason, I will get on Netflix and start watching inspirational sports movies to like charge me up, give myself like a Rocky or whatever. And yesterday was Rudy, and but here's the thing, I don't want to feel bad about watching a whole movie in my bed. So I just skip to the last 15 minutes of everyone. So I'm kind of missing the message. But here's the thing. So then I got in a Wikipedia wormhole because I Googled what happened to Daniel Rudy Rudiger, and graduated college, motivational speaker, right? Started some charities, and then 3 years ago, he was indicted on securities fraud. For about $500,000, and that was just the most bummery thing. I was just like, is everything a goddamn lie? I don't even get the idea of a good person anymore. It's gonna fuck that up too. Dyslexic piece of shit. Fucking made me so mad. I think I'm probably just about out of time, so I'm gonna get done because I see Todd's shoes underneath the curtain. Hey, Todd. 30 seconds? Okay. Oh my gosh. Did you guys have fun? Yeah, I don't have any 30-second jokes, but after that, I read that thing about Rudy. I promptly masturbated. And then when I fell asleep, I didn't feel so bad about it. But then I left my computer out, because I'm not a porn guy. So I just left it open, and I woke up and I saw the Wikipedia page with Rudy on it again. Yeah, that was just sad. That wasn't even funny. All right, guys. Fuck! Good night.
All right, it's not. Okay, either he's just playing with me or it's not gonna be that bad. So that's good.
So how long you been doing comedy collectively?
7 years.
What got you into it?
Just telling stories to people at parties, and they were laughing, and I was like, oh, that's kind of what comedy is. Let's see if I can do it on stage.
How'd you get started? Oh, Mike?
Open micing. There was an open mic in San Diego, California, at the La Jolla Comedy Store, where you could call up the week before and they let you know if you got on. And it was only 4 hours away from where I lived, so I decided to give it a shot. I drove 4 hours to do 3 minutes of open mic. And after that, I was hooked. I just kept going. I found places that were closer, and just kept going for it. I was taking Ambien, and one day I woke up with a dog. And I retraced my steps the next day, and apparently after I took some Ambien, I didn't go to sleep, and I got on Craigslist looking at dogs, and somebody had one, and I was like, this is perfect, I guess. So I woke up, and I got myself a surprise present.
Your little Chi-Pom?
Pomchi, yeah, it's he's half Chihuahua, half Pomchi. Complete badass.
He's badass. Charlie's a bad little bastard.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Now, a lot with your humor is focused on just everyday stuff, everyday observations.
Yeah.
How do you play a character that's dumber than people expect? Like, you're much more intelligent than the assumption is. And you play that to your advantage.
Yeah, well, yeah, so I think I play the character as dumb as they expect. And then it kind of sucks to dumb yourself down, but really the whole thing that I'm pushing is that I'm not as stupid as you would think just by hearing me talk and knowing where I'm from. So let me, over the course of half an hour to an hour, let me kind of take you on a little trip that changes that perception you have. And that's kind of the fun part, to play the dummy up front, but then by the end, people are coming up to me and be like, you know, you told a lot of really smart jokes for somebody who's supposed to be stupid. And like, now you're starting to get it.
What type of comedy do you like? Do you like the visceral, gritty comedy? Or do you like the polished up suit jacket and the club stuff?
I like everything, man. That's why I don't understand alternative comedy, the title.
Yeah.
I just think if something's funny, it's funny. If someone uses props and they're funny, I think that's funny comedy. I don't know why people have to look at something a certain way and categorize it when it comes to making people laugh. Because I love Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr, two of my favorites ever. You know, Carrot Top, goddamn hilarious. So like, I have no like integrity meter on comedy. If it makes me laugh, it makes me laugh. Well, I lived in Okinawa, Japan for 3 years, and that was probably the coolest place I've ever lived in my life. I mean, it was bars stay open till the sun rises, scuba diving in water that's crystal clear. And then the whole time I was over there, like every couple months, we would take trips to Thailand or Hong Kong or Korea or Singapore. I mean, it was just like, it was a time in my life when, unless something amazing starts happening in comedy, like, I will never experience the things that I experienced when I was in the Marine Corps.
You have any other dreams when you were a kid? Want to be a firefighter, an astronaut?
No, I wanted to join the military.
Did you?
Yeah, so luckily that's all I ever wanted to do from the time I was like 4 or 5 years old. And then I joined the military when I was 18. So the way I'm able to look at life right now is I already accomplished my dreams. Now everything else is just kind of a bonus after that.
Like you, Hong Kong, how was that?
Hong Kong was cool. Hong Kong is where I met my first person that really just made me realize, oh, you don't know what people are like just by looking at them. because I got into an elevator and there was a Chinese lady there, and I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then she replied in this very crisp British accent, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know, people aren't just immediately what you see. Like, talk to them and kind of get to know them a little bit. So, but yeah, Hong Kong was cool. That's the one that the older guys liked that were in the military, because they could go shopping and get nice things for their wives. But I think Thailand and the Philippines are the ones that the young guys like, because it's just all party. I ran from the cops one time. I drove drunk, and the cops pulled up behind me, and I took off.
Really?
Yeah.
Not random?
Yeah. Well, there were some friends that were out with us, and they were in a different car, and they were actually parked at an intersection, and I came like through the intersection, and I turned right like as fast as I could, and the cop came behind me. And when he took a right in that intersection, he spun out, and that we got away from him. And my friends saw this shit happening. They were like, "I think that was Mitch running from the cops." And we get away, and then like a few miles down the road, another cop pulls up behind me, and I was like, "Fuck it! If they turn on their lights, I'm pulling over. I'm not doing that again." And they just followed us for a little while. I think they just got a report. Red car driving crazy. Yeah. They saw my car, followed it, and since I was just 10 and 2, just straight, like they were like, that must not be them. So that car pulled off. Then another cop gets behind me and follows me a little bit. He pulls off, and then we get to the apartment where we were staying. And then we all get out of the car, and then I took the virginity of a Mormon girl. So overall, like, that was the night of me doing a bunch of stuff.
So that was a prize you got from running from the cops?
I wouldn't say it was a prize. I really feel better about that one too. The way it's been. As soon as I get that fuck you money, I'll go and do something like that where I don't have to care.
Fuck you money. What would you do if you had fuck you money? Would you still do comedy?
No. Because you can't. If you got fuck you money, you can't do comedy because you're the powerful now, and nobody wants to laugh at somebody who's got it all made. You know, like that's why like Dane Cook was great before he became Dane Cook, and then once he had all that money, like nobody wanted to hear him talk about being cool anymore. You know, when he was just kind of more of a young fun guy. Like, he was amazing to everybody. But you give that young, fun guy a lot of money, now they just hate him. Yeah. You know?
Created and directed by Todd Armstrong, produced by Todd Armstrong and Dustin Erickson. Permanent Comedy with Todd Armstrong would not be possible without our supporters. Tattoo artists Joanne and Jerry Martian of Martian Arts Tattoo Studio on the corner of 33rd and Hawthorne in Portland, Oregon. Video recorded, edited, and animated by Wolfwise Media. Original pixel art by Anthony Justiniano. Audio recorded and mixed by Rowan Studios. Original music by Soda Vice Music. And I've been the Permanent Comedy announcer, Greg Nibbler. Thanks for watching this episode of Permanent Comedy with Todd Armstrong. Always enjoy the choices you make.
And I get on the top of that obstacle, and my drill instructor is just like, "You're not gonna make it, Burrow. You're gonna fall." And I'm like, "Fuck this guy, I got it." And I start like shimmying down the rope on my stomach, and I do the first rollover, and I got it. And I go down, and I do the next one where I let go of my legs, and I spin around, and I miss. And I've never heard this guy sound so happy in his life, because now I'm just kind of like swinging, just holding on for dear life. He's like, "You're gonna get wet, Burrow. You're gonna get wet." And I was like, fuck this guy. And I just took everything I could, swung, hooked my leg around that fucking rope and went all the way down. Didn't say a word, but I just looked at him, smiled, and then walked away, and it was the most gratifying experience I'd ever had.